Have you ever wondered what would a defense attorney do if they were accused of a crime? This is Christina Williams with Just Criminal Law.
And David Mann, legal storytelling specialist. Okay, I think in order to get into how to depict this, the easiest thing to do would be to just pretend like you, Christina Williams, have been for some reason accused of a crime. And then you can just show us what you do, and I'll play the police officer. How's that sound?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so we won't frame this as anything other than we're going to do a role play, and we'll find out what the story is as we go along. Okay, so it starts out, there's a knock on your door.
Hi, officer. Can I help you?
Yeah, hi, Christy. I just am stopping by because Jennifer Nelson, who you were at a dinner party, a big dinner party last week at her house. First of all, is that right? You were at a dinner party at Jennifer Nelson's house?
Yeah. There were quite a few people there. I was invited. Yes, I was there.
Okay, yeah, that's what she said too. And well, as it turns out, she had a really valuable diamond ring that she knows was in the house prior to the party, and then it's gone. And she's pretty sure that that it went with you. So we just need to ask you a few questions about that.
Okay, so if I'm getting this right, I'm being accused of taking the missing diamond ring. Is that right?
Well, she's saying that it wasn't there and thinking that you were the most likely person that may have taken it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I just, knowing what I know, I really don't want to discuss my day or that day any further.
Oh, yeah, I understand that. Just a couple of questions there. So you were there between the hours of, I think it was, she said 5:30 p.m. and about 10:30 p.m. Is that correct?
I'm sorry. Do you have any paperwork that you want to serve me, or, has any warrant been issued related to this?
Well, we will definitely get that. That's coming. So right now it's just sort of preliminary questions about you being there between 5:30 and 10:30, if that's right, and then we'll just a couple of questions about the ring.
I'm going to go ahead and end this conversation, and if you would like to talk to me further about this, I'm going to need my lawyer present.
Okay, even though it's just a couple of logistical questions, it's just, I'm pretty sure it wasn't you too, but we just need to ask a few questions.
No, I understand, and that can be arranged when I have my lawyer present.
All right. So there, skillfully done. The officer presumably leaves at that point, and now there's a few more things that if you are the savvy attorney that you are, and in this predicament right now, what would you now do in terms of how you conduct yourself and communication and stuff?
Sure. Now that I know that I'm a person of interest, I need to go back while that event is still fresh in my mind and, create a timeline, get very solid on, what happened, what may or may not be relevant. So immediately I'm going to go back in time and recall that day and everything that I can about it and write it down so that, everybody's memory fades with time. You think, oh my gosh, I'm accused of a crime. I'm going to remember everything about that day. But as time passes, that's just not how your mind works. So write down everything you can. About your interaction with law enforcement and about that day, any subsequent communication you had with the person that's accusing you of the crime. Just go back and, write down everything you can possibly think of that may be key, pivotal, useful later on. You just don't know until you get a copy of the evidence of what they want to use against you.
Is there anything you should make sure not to do?
Yes, do not discuss any part of it with anyone. So, if you're accused of this incident, short of your spouse, because there is privilege there, but Don't discuss this with other people that were at the party. I mean, if the officer is continuing to do an investigation and is continuing to interview people, those statements that you make to other guests that were there, other friends, maybe mutual acquaintances, those statements can then be used against you. So even though you did what you're supposed to and you didn't talk to the police, every statement that you make can potentially come in as evidence against you if the case gets charged and you go to trial and you have to explain this to a jury. All that stuff, even though you didn't talk to the police, you did talk to other people about it. So make sure you don't talk to other people. Definitely don't post anything on social media about the facts of the case. Only talk about what happened really in detail. Go over all of your preparation with your attorney, and then you can sort out what's going to help you and what's relevant and what's not.
Okay, so it sounds like when the police officer is asking the questions, the things to remember are request a formal complaint or a formal arrest document, decline to answer any questions, and then request or tell them that you're going to not speak until you have your attorney. So that's while you are being questioned. And then after that, make sure to document everything and don't talk to anybody or communicate publicly in any way about matters even remotely close to relating to this. Did I capture all that?
You did capture all of that. And again, that's what a defense attorney would do. Certainly, just your average run of the mill person who doesn't know, all their rights and how this works. Just make sure you tell the officer, I don't want to discuss my day and I want my lawyer present. End of the story.
And that lawyer could be you. So how might they get in touch with you?
Sure, we'll include a link in the description where they can call, text, or chat with a member of my team anytime, day or night. Here at Just Criminal Law, we know you only get one shot at justice, so make yours count.